What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it's been 24 hours. Our frame is all dried, all painted up. Got all that rust and crust off of here. It looks great. Axle looks sharp. So you know what that means. It's finally time. We're gonna do it right now. We're gonna toot this thing up 14 inches in the front, 2 inches in the back. It's gonna look crazy. So we're gonna get to that. We're gonna do something first because, as you can see, we do need a diff cover. Now, I did sandblast my old one. However, the crust and all that got to it almost to a point where, you know, I just want to put a new one on it. So here we have the world's best diff cover here from our friends over at Banks Power. The first diff cover, like I said, we obviously had the Banks. It was one of the first ones that came out. And let me tell you, the fluid looks great. The gears look great. It definitely kept it cool. There's no heat, no nothing. And I am very impressed with this diff cover. What we're going to do first is actually we're going to powder coat this gloss black. We're going to wipe the fins off. We're going to get that installed, and then we'll install the rest of the rear lift kit on this and then see how far we can go, and maybe I could run all the harnesses and stuff back so this kind of looks like it's together. So yeah, let's get this new Banks diff cover unboxed. We'll get it shot gloss black. We'll start tooting this thing up. Okay, so because the diff cover is that raw aluminum, and I really like what I did on the Banana with the fins were like chrome, and then obviously Lollipop you put the chrome underneath, but on this case the fins are aluminum, and if I just sprayed it gloss black it wouldn't really shine all the way through. So what we're going to add to this diff cover is a whole layer of Columbia Coatings Chromachrome. I have seen that this is apparently the chromiest chrome on the market, better than a Super Chrome Plus from Prismatic. So we're going to try out this Chromachrome, give the whole thing a chrome base, and then we'll wipe off all the fins and shoot the rest of it black. And I think it's going to come out looking sick. Okay, so we took care of the Banks diff cover yesterday. Had to get this thing all powder coated, looking nice for our rear end here. Now, literally this thing is probably one of the world's best diff covers. Any other diff cover doesn't have this like technology built into it. But as you can see here, the fluid is made to not hit a flat back. It's made to rotate with the gears, and also all the cooling fins. And right there at the bottom, you can see those scoops, and those scoops come around and bring the air up and through, cooling your rear end fluid. So that's pretty sweet. Also on this new updated design, I believe this port here is for a rear end temperature sensor if you wanted to add that to your vehicle. The first gen one doesn't have that, but this one does. So I think if you want to keep track of your rear end temps, you can. Here is another diff cover that I've just had sitting here. Somebody left it here, honestly, and I just sandblasted it because it was all messed up. But as you can see here, look at that. Flat back, it's got all those indents in it, and so your fluid's smashing off your gears going straight into the back of that, and it's not flowing right. That's why the Banks one is literally incredible, and I I cannot complain. We're going to start off by installing the Banks diff cover. I'll get that all taken off, put that on there, and then we're going to slowly start lowering this thing down, get our rear arms connected, and then we could even throw our springs in, get this thing sitting about 10 inches shorter, 14 down to, well, that's actually 12 in the rear, 12-inch drop in the back, but 14 down to 2. So that's what we're gonna get busy on, and I guess let's get into it. Okay, so last time I did a diff cover on this truck, or any truck really, I mean, I've done the royal purple in there, and you get the single bottles. If you go back in my videos, you probably could see me doing that. This was just at Summit Racing. It was a deal, 150 bucks for 5 gallons of it, and I had 2 trucks to fill up, so it kind of just works out. No particular desire or whatever towards Lucas, but like I said, it was just a good deal. 150 bucks for this whole 5-gallon bucket, and you're gonna need, I think, about 4 or 5 for the rear and 2 for the front, so I could fill up 2 trucks with this bucket. That's the only reason why I'm using this. It seems to be some pretty good stuff in general, so we're gonna just fill this up. And Banks makes it easy here because they got the little sight glass down here, so we're gonna fill it up. Drain plug in too, so it's also nice because you can drain it without popping the popping the cover off. Drain plugs in, temperature sensor plugs in, and then you got your sight glass. So we're just gonna fill it up, and then once you see fluid in there, you're about 4 or 5 quarts in here. So. Okay, so now, as you can see, we got the Carli springs in there, the track bar bracket, the new control arms. It looks all good coming together. Banks diff cover looks sharp down there. Sway bar looks so good down there. We're about ready to put this thing on its own weight, which is crazy, and tighten everything down. We're going to throw the shocks in, and then the track bar and the sway bar end links, because this is as far as it needs extended, so I can put these in. But these are the Fox Performance Series, not the Adventure Series. Performance Series, aluminum body, and will resist corrosion, obviously. And then we obviously, this time around, we got the Fox shocks that were specially made for the truck, so it does have the stem top that'll go right through this hole, and we don't need the conversion bracket or any of that, so this will be sweet. And with the bed off, it makes this 10 times easier because we can actually tighten the shock right here. Let's get these thrown in, and then we're going to break out the Rough Country track bar and get that all measured up, set right. We'll put that in there and get this thing on its own weight. That's short. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Whoa. Not to mention it's so tooted, but that's, wow. The bed's gonna be right here. It's literally gonna be, it's even gonna be shorter than that because of the 40s. Cut off some more inches. Man, this thing's gonna be so, that's funny. I can't believe it. I'm excited. I wanna see the rest of it. I wanna rip the front off. That's great. Alright guys, well there it is. This is actually crazy. We've got the factory control arms back in, the Carli 2-inch springs, we got the Rough Country adjustable track bar, the Banks diff cover, obviously the zone, track bar bracket and end links, put our Fox Performance shocks on. Still got to get the FASS all set up. I actually kind of want to relocate that to maybe underneath the truck. It's just in a, it's like, it is the best spot for that, like factory wise, but because a lot of this truck isn't factory, I feel like I can find a better place for that that's easier to service and cleaner than just getting all stuck up back in there by the filler necks and the little bed support and everything down there. So I'll probably relocate that. I might not. We'll figure that out when we get there. But harness is all put back, everything's ran. That's super nice. We got our fifth wheel like puck thingies all powder coated. These bolts are like crusty. I forgot to get new ones of those, but we're gonna, don't you worry, we're gonna paint those with aluminum paint so they look all brand new. We're gonna do that, and we're also gonna touch up these bolt heads too so it looks perfect. We're not done yet, but the whole rear end is complete just like that. I mean, literally everything's down on the ground tight. It's on its own weight. That's the height. It's crazy because well, I forgot I gotta put the Carli things in there, but I gotta paint the bump stops because they're a little crusty. It's crazy because this tire is like right at frame height now. Like before, obviously we had so much room in between. Obviously another, man, 10 inches, what is that, 12 inches, whatever I took off, we had a lot. But that's crazy now how this is so like even. This bed, I mean, this part is the real shocker because it's like waist level, and that means the bottom of the bed's going to be like right here. That's crazy. And it's even going to be shorter because we're going to take off what are these, about 30, take off another probably 2-3 inches with these. This thing's gonna be really low to the ground. If I come to the front, look at this thing, it is so tooted. Oh my gosh, 14 inches in the front, 2 in the rear. I know you can't really tell with the plastic on it, and I really want to rip the plastic off just to see it, because man, that actually looks kind of cool. But I gotta paint the front half of this frame too, so I don't want to unwrap it just to rewrap it either. But this thing is so tooted. Other than that, that rough country track bar, that was super nice, really easy to adjust. All you really got to do is measure from a point on your tire to your frame on both sides and measure that, make sure they're equal, the exact points, and then you can adjust it, and once the measurement's equal on both sides, you're centered up. So it's pretty simple. And honestly, because this track bar from rough country is so fat, like this thing is huge compared to what would be stock, and how much, like, I don't know, one turn is, but the 1-2 turns really moved like almost like a ½ an inch. So it was pretty cool, really easy to adjust, really centered it up nice, and we are dead straight. I put anti-seize on the track bar because we don't ever want that seizing up, just in case we adjust the lift height back here. And then I also put anti-seize on those bottom bolts that are always a trouble. I don't understand why those are like a black oxide bolt and the rest of them are that silver. I don't understand that, but every time for some reason I feel like they get stuck or fight you. So I don't know, put a lot of anti-seize in there, so I'm hoping if I ever change this lift up, put a little more height back here, or I change the control arms out for something different, those bolts will come out easy. Also came through, cleaned up these little rubber isolators, put them back in. Don't forget those. You'll get little squeaks and rattles if those aren't in there, because those just sit on the frame enough to not let the metal vibrate between the bed and the frame. So don't forget those. And yeah, other than that, the whole back is done. The bed does need to go on, but I don't need to do that yet. I'm gonna wait until the front's done, obviously, and we can get everything set back in there. But that's actually going to do it for today's video. That was a lot. We got all that knocked out, and honestly, I'm going to come back in here and start knocking out the front. I'm glad that everything's tight. I'm glad that it's on its own weight. The front's going to be a little less involved, a little more involved. I do got to take the drive shafts out and get the T-case out, put the new clocking ring on it, put the new cross member in there. The rest of it should be pretty straightforward and very easy to touch up all the frame paint on that. So that should hopefully go very quick and very smooth. So that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm excited. This thing's so low. I want to see with the bed on, and I want to ride it. I want to ride in it because the way that moves already, I'm excited. So if you guys enjoyed this video, shoot it a thumbs up. If you haven't been here before, please get down and click subscribe. Drop me a comment if you haven't already. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next one.